In case you haven't noticed, there is a new trend in the music industry, buying back catalogs of huge artists, and nobody does this bigger and better than Hipgnosis. In 2020, Hipgnosis spent over $1 billion acquiring the rights from some massive artists and now have over 65,000 tracks in their arsenal, including from the likes of the Chili's, Fleetwood Mac, Blink-182, Blondie, 50 Cent, the Chainsmokers, even Bob Rock, which means they get part of the rights from the Black Album by Metallica and Michael Bublé, the Christmas album. Can't win them all. And the man in charge of this huge fire sale, Mercuriadis. I think that's how you say his name. Mercuriadis. And he is on a mission to become the most powerful man in the whole of the music industry, taking over from the all-powerful Dr. Evil. I mean, Daniel Ek.
I have one simple request.
And if you think about it, maybe he already has taken over. After all, Spotify is at the mercy of the major labels. He's licensing music, whereas Merc, no, he's buying the music. And what's more powerful, the person who owns the music or the person who licensed the music? But is this a good investment and will it work? Because musicians have been told for a long time that streaming doesn't pay. In fact, did you know that musicians would need to get their music streamed 2,500 times every single month in order for them to give that money to Daniel Ek to have a Spotify premium account for $10? If that makes sense. So why all of a sudden is owning music so important? Well, like any investment, this is a gamble, except it's a calculated gamble. Because most artists, I would say probably yourself included, are terrible at managing your back catalogue. Everything is about your new single, the next video, the next piece of music. Everything is what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. What happens about the assets that you've created, the music that you've created over the last year, 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years? That can be managed. And if it can be managed well, that asset can make you money. But we are in a time where music is attached to so many different things. TV, film, adverts, social media, brands, apps, games, TikTok's going crazy, streaming, the list goes on. And whilst music is given away with a box of cereal, when that music is attached to something, somebody is getting paid. So let's look at an example. Let's take a classic like Green Onions by Booker T, which in 2019 was attached to 10 films. And on top of that, over the last 20 or 30 years has been attached to so many things, including TopGear, as well as films like X-Men First Class, Happy Gilmore, Quadrophenia. On top of that, it's also been used in computer games like GTA, and on top of that has even been used on a loop in Disney, California. The irony of this is the song didn't even go in at #1. It charted at #3 on the Billboard chart, and yet decades later, it is still making millions of dollars. Now, fast forward to Hipgnosis. And the clever thing with what they're doing is they are buying up classics. Did you know that 60% of their back catalogue is over 10 years old? They are looking for songs that they know will stand the test of time, from artists that they know will stand the test of time. But here is the genius bit. As the world opens up and technology keeps growing, then these markets keep getting bigger and bigger. Let's take an example like the Chili's, who just sold the rights to their music for $140 million. But they represent an era. In fact, they represent my childhood. The Chili's was so synonymous to the music I listened to when I grew up. And so when there's a film or something coming out that's portraying that 90s sound and that 90s feel, who better than the Chili's? And that will go on for the next decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades. And should that Chili Peppers song go into a film, it doesn't just make that one song go viral. It makes their entire back catalogue go viral. That's the best bit. You manage one song and it goes viral, everyone wins. Let's take an example now of AC/DC. If I asked you to name an AC/DC song, most people would say, well, Back in Black, obviously. And on Spotify, Back in Black has had nearly 800 million spins. That's crazy. But then it has been in Iron Man and a multitude of other places. But did you know that Thunderstruck and Highway to Hell only have 50 million spins less? Thunderstruck on 770, Highway to Hell on 730 or 740 million. It goes to show that when one song punches through, it takes everything else with it. Now, Mercuriadis knows this, and so therefore, instead of saying, hey, I've got a bunch of songs, I'm shelving them, this is huge money. He can afford to have one specialist who's in charge of a small library. Hell, you could have one person whose literally full-time job is to manage one song. Imagine if you were given Back in Black and said, there you go, there's Back in Black, go and make 30 million from that song, and your salary's 100 grand. You probably could do that, and it would grow the entire AC/DC back catalogue. Same thing with Fleetwood Mac, same thing with Bob Dylan, same thing with the Chili Peppers. This makes perfect sense. One person with a network of links and some incredible music. All I Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey. Every single year. If that's your job, just get that into different places, collect the money, and watch Mariah's back catalogue shoot up and get more viral. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And Mercuriadis is not going to stop. He's going to carry on buying and buying until he has all of the power, because once he owns all of the biggest artists from pre-2010, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I bet you Daniel Ek is starting to look and think to himself, this could be a problem here, guys. I don't know where this is going, but I can see problems ahead. The music industry is littered with powerful people, Daniel Ek being one, Lucien Grange from UMG. But Mercuriadis might be the most powerful man in the whole of the music industry right now. And if not, I think he will be very, very soon. Let me know what you think and where this is going and what this means for you and your music. I would love to know, so let me know in the comments below. Also, if you are serious about your music and you want to work with me on getting your music heard, then check out DK Music Business Academy, which has everything you need to know about today's music industry and how you can get your music heard. On top of that, it's got a community of amazing musicians just like yourself from all over the world. There's also a chance to have live sessions with me every single week. And on top of that, there is now a brand new database of over 7,000 playlist creators that you can get your music in front of. So what are you waiting for? Sign up to the 7-day free trial and I will see you inside. Other than that, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.